average human heart beats 72 times a minute, 100,000 times a day, and approximately 3 billion times in a human lifetime. I'm here today to share part of my heartbeats with you. In the next 15 minutes, I will be able to share approximately 1,130 heartbeats of mine with you. And in order to make this a truly sharing experience, I will ask you to look at the bags that you received, and there is a white sheet of paper in every of the bags. What makes your heart beat? During my speech, please reflect on this question and write down one of the reasons, people, places, or things that make your heart beat. Whether it's a kiss, a jogging habit, fear of flying, fear of public lovemaking, whatever makes your heart beat. I come from a small town in Macedonia called Struga, a town which we say has a sunrise that warms your soul, or in Macedonian, kade sunce to svitlo ugrevjat, kade nebo to zvezdi posevjat. Yes, that is how my mother language sounds like, and my heart beats stronger every time I use it. But let's start from the beginning. Ever since I was a little child, I was amazed by how beautiful life is. I used to imagine falling asleep on the top of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I don't know how and why I chose that tower, but there was a whole new dreamy world under my eyelashes. Paris was light, Paris was magic, Paris was the peak of my childish imagination. Interestingly enough, at that time, the Macedonian national television opened a lottery competition, giving a trip to Paris as an award. I had to read a book, collect few coupons, put them in one envelope, and send it to the capital city, waiting for the TV show where the winners would have been announced. Lucky draw, a pile of thousands of envelopes from all over the country, me and my family in front of the TV, waiting to see what will happen. Envelope number 1, not me. Envelope number 2, not me. Envelope number 3, not me. My mom looking at me saying, Bistra, please don't put too much hope in this. Please don't expect too much. The chances to win are really, really small. Envelope 7, not me. Envelope 8, not me. Envelope 9, Bistra Kumbaroska from Struga. I won. I traveled to Paris. I went up the Eiffel Tower and I had my dream come true. At a very young age, I discovered the beauty of achieving something that everyone else considered impossible. But as we grow older, our hearts start beating faster for different things. I was 20 when my heart started beating from fears, from decisions I couldn't make, from opportunities I couldn't find. Living in a country like Macedonia that had a long way to recover from Yugoslavia separation, a country that had no competitive advantage on the global market, I was one of those crazy kids that believed in a different world. I wanted to travel the world. They told me, no way, you need visa for every country. I wanted to study abroad. They told me, no way, you can't afford it. I wanted to expose myself to a more advanced system. They told me, no, you're not competitive. I knew that can't be true, but it was. It took me 9 months to actually find an appropriate scholarship call that was open for my country. Few more months to actually collect the needed documents, and not to mention the efforts for writing a solid motivational letter or even applying for a visa. If you are used to having your university boards filled with opportunities for working abroad, studying abroad, traveling abroad, well, in my country at that time, that was a no-no. How many times did I have to wait in front of an office just to ask a simple question and I got the door slammed in my face? Or how many times was my heart broken when I received the letter saying, Dear Mrs. Kumbarovska, we are sorry to inform you, but your application has been rejected. Luckily, I was not the only one. Together with a group of Macedonian people, we decided to open up this information portal that will share this information with the whole nation of Macedonia. We opened a blog, we called it Mladi Info. Mladi stands for youth in Slavic languages, info for information. And we simply decided to share everything we had, all the experience, all the open calls, everything that we could think of. From day to day, people started to click on our webpage, but moreover, they wanted to contact us, to ask for help. How should we apply? How should we use these opportunities? And from that blog-like page, we actually grew to be a web page that is now gathering more than 200,000 visits per month. And not only from Macedonia, but from all over the world. Mladi Info today is an umbrella organization that has local branches in 5 different countries and is still growing and developing. Not only that we share the information, but nowadays we also help people. We assist them to write a CV, to write a motivation letter, or simply to increase their employability skills. From those fears and angers, from those outrageous heartbeats, we learned what to wish for and what to hope for. And we decided to share it with the world. And that is what I call a heartbeat. But as I said, as we grow older, our hearts start beating faster for different things. In 2010, I won a master's scholarship and I moved to study in Slovenia. My heart was beating from excitement and uncertainty. What could a small country like Slovenia offer to a young person? I never thought it could offer me the world. In Slovenia, I got to know of an initiative called Challenge Future. What they did was simply amazing. They brought together young people from all over the world on an online platform and enabled them to create innovative solutions and commitments for the world's most pressing problems. I entered Slovenia and I entered the most global organization ever. I learned the dignity of being a global citizen, and at the same time, I experienced the difficulty of being a global citizen. Jatin, Haley, Dan, Sandra, Damian, Andrea, and many other young hearts beating with an aligned rhythm in different time zones. One day, we decided to visit the Challenge Future community in Rwanda and Uganda. I met young people who had no electricity, no water supply, and not to mention internet or smartphones. I met young girls at the age of 15 who created their own businesses and had not spent a day in a school. I met youngsters who produced wine made of pineapples, and they were probably not aware that they are the only ones. Regardless where and how they lived, they had one thing in common: a purpose bigger than themselves. Listen to this story from one of the tribes in Africa. Whenever a person does something wrong or something harmful, the whole community gathers and takes the person to the center of the village. They surround him, and for 2 days, they tell the person every good thing he has done. In 2 days, they band together to lift this person up and to reconnect him with his true nature, to remind him of his true heartbeat. That is exactly how I felt in Challenge Future community, and that is what I call a heartbeat. But as I said, as we grow older, our hearts start beating faster for different things. And here I am today in Vienna, being part of a global movement of change and impact known as Impact Hub Vienna. If you've heard of the words social business and impact investing, well, I work with the people that bring heartbeats to those words. I work with the people who are actually shifting the paradigm and who are actually bringing a new set of values to the current business logic. And these faces that you see, these are not only members of Impact Hub Vienna. These are the faces of my heartbeats. These are the people that left a trace in my existence. And these are the people that stand on this stage today, but you can't see them. To live a long and happy and deliberate life, we need to understand that cultivating the heartbeats together is one of the crucial things. Year after year, minute after minute, in a lifetime, a heart beats 3 billion times, and at least half of those beats are meant to be shared. In one day, a heart creates enough energy to drive a truck for 20 miles. In a lifetime, that sums up to traveling to the moon and back. With these people in me, I feel like I'm traveling to the moon and back every day. That is the power of community. That is the power of humanity. And before I end my talk, I ask you to look at the white sheets of paper in front of you. Please write down one of the reasons, one of the things, one of the places that made your heart beat. I would like you to wrap those things and bounce them here on stage. I want to collect them. I want to read them. And by the end of the event, from your words and from my heartbeats, I will create a poem in the right corner back there. So when you leave this venue, you will be able to read a poem that we wrote together. Why? Because I believe that only poetry can capture a shared heartbeat. And that is exactly what we did today. We shared a heartbeat. Thank you.